Hey, what is going on, guys? This is OBC here, and welcome to OBC Football. This is a new channel in the OBC franchise, and we are starting off with my Premier League table predictions. This is what I'm going to be doing today. Also, later today, you'll get my predictions for the first round of Premier League fixtures, and that will be a weekly series, and then I'll probably recap based on how well I did on my predictions at the start of every week. So we're going to start at the bottom of the table. The teams which I predict to get relegated are Cardiff, Brighton, and Huddersfield. With Cardiff, Cardiff haven't strengthened enough, in my opinion. The other two promoted teams have spent a lot of money over the window, and I think they'll survive. We'll get onto them later. But Cardiff haven't really strengthened that much, in my opinion, and I just feel like, they're going to struggle, because Neil Warnock has proven that he's a good Championship manager, but he struggles in the Prem. So I don't think he'll last long. And then you get into the issue of managerial turmoil. If you keep changing your managers too often, when do you stop? When do you get a bit of calm? So I think Cardiff are going to finish rock bottom. Then I've got Brighton. Brighton did very well in their first season. They survived. And they have strengthened a little bit. But I think overall, the quality of the teams in this season is so much better than last year. Every team has improved, except Tottenham. Every single team has improved in one way or another. And I think while Brighton have improved, they're just going to be left behind now. And the same comes for Huddersfield in 18th. They had a great season for last year. I predicted them to finish rock bottom last year. I was wrong. But I do predict them to go down again this year. I might be wrong again. In 17th, just surviving, I've put Fulham. I've been really impressed with the signings Fulham have made. And and to be honest, I just think Fulham are a Premier League team. They've just not been here for a while. With Fulham and Cardiff actually both got relegated in the same season, and now they're back. But Fulham have always, in my head, been a Premier League team, and I think they will stay in the Premier League. I think they deserve to stay in the Premier League. They've been out of it for so long now. They deserve to get back, and they deserve to just stay here. Because I think, in 2010, they were in the Europa League final, losing to Atletico. The team they've got now is nowhere near as good as they had back then. That was back when Roy Hodgson was a good manager for them. But I think they'll survive. And I reckon there'll be quite a big gap between Fulham and Huddersfield. And then the team in 16th, I put Bournemouth. Bournemouth, again, have strengthened. But Bournemouth have just kind of survived on just surviving. Well, I think they'll be a bit more comfortable this year. Because, as I said, I think the bottom three will be miles away from the chase. I think Bournemouth will survive quite comfortably, but I still think there'll be tensions. I don't think it will be long until Eddie Howe leaves. And whilst for the last couple of years I've predicted him to go to Arsenal, now I'm starting to predict that he might be the next Tottenham manager. Because I don't think Pochettino is going to stay for longer. Because he seems very angry. And I think Eddie Howe is going to be his replacement. But with that, with Bournemouth, he'll stay at Bournemouth until the end of the season at least. But my thing is, Eddie Howe's style of football is very top of the table. Bournemouth haven't quite got the players to fully pull off his style. So I think they'll finish 16th, but comfortably in this league. 15th, as I put Watford. Because, again, Watford, some people have put them to go down this season. I can't see that. I think they're going to be quite strong throughout. And I reckon they're going to be a team which nobody is talking about at the end of the season. A bit like Crystal Palace, who I put for 14th. Nobody's going to be talking about them at the end of the season. They're just good. They're just there. They're just going to be in the middle of the table, floundering. That's how I see it happening. In 13th, I've put Newcastle. A couple of people have put, shockingly, Newcastle to go down because of all the unrest which is going on. Whilst I do not think Rafa Benitez will still be manager at the end of the season, I do think they're going to survive quite comfortably because they have a squad which will survive comfortably. In 12th, Leicester. Without Mahrez, their attacking flair has been diminished an awful lot. But they've still got Vardy, which is always positive. When you've got, because Vardy can always put out a goal or two for when he's needed to. So I put them to finish 12th because I feel like they're starting to get back into the rhythm of being a mid-table side again, because that's what they've become. Their championship win let them become a mid-table side, which is, I think, if you'd have said to Leicester fans a couple of years ago, you won't have to worry about relegation for a while, they'd have taken that with both arms and told you were an idiot. But that's what's happened. They're in a position where they don't need to worry about relegation anymore because they are comfortable. And if they go down this season, I will have to eat my entire words here. 11th, I put Burnley. They had a really strong season last year, but I'm going to be honest. This top 10 could have, like, Burnley, Leicester and Newcastle could all conceivably get into this top 10 that I've put. It was so hard to place them. I've put Burnley in 11th because they had the best success last season. I don't think they're going to do as well because they've got to contend with the Europa League, which is a lot more strenuous than the Champions League because there are so many more matches. And they're on Thursdays rather than Tuesdays, so you've got very little time to get ready for the league rather than the other way round. Burnley, though, my issue with Burnley is they haven't brought in enough players to compensate for that. I like Sean Dyche's style of not being about the money in football, not splashing out big amounts of money, but that's how you make a club bigger. That is how, unfortunately, that is how you get bigger in football nowadays. You have to spend the money. Speaking of another team which hasn't seemed to spend much money, although might be spending a lot next year, Southampton, who signed Danny Ings on a loan to a £20 million fee next summer. Why? Danny Ings isn't that good, actually. He was great for Burnley, but he's really flopped when he was in Liverpool. But I've put Southampton finishing 10th. Because Southampton have a trend of always being able to replace their top players when they leave. They're always getting replaced and replaced and replaced. No matter what happens, there's always another crop of top players coming through. And a lot of that is down to their incredible youth facilities. They have got some incredible young players who have come through Southampton. Bale, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, all of them came through Southampton. Well, I just want to see who the next one will be. But for the time being, Southampton I put in literally mid-table. They're not going to be challenging for Europe, but they're nowhere near They're nowhere near the relegation zone. They are the best of the mid-table teams. And now I head into what I consider to be the top half teams this season. It's tough. These 9 teams have been quite hard to place, actually. In 9th, I've put West Ham. Because West Ham have made some done some incredible business this season in the window. And I think they're starting to calm... That's ridiculous. They're starting to calm down. No, not really. That's not West Ham fans. They're not calming down ever. But I put them in 9th. Because out of the top 9 teams, they have got the weakest squad, in my opinion, by a long shot. In 8th, I've put Wolverhampton Wanderers. Because they have money, they have spent it very well. Rui Patricio and João Moutinho are 2 world-class players in the Midlands, playing for Wolves now. Wolves Club de Portugal is a good joke, which I've heard. Because they are pretty much Portuguese now. Have really surprised most people, I think. And they will surprise most people this season. I watched them in the Championship last season because my team are in the Championship still. But I am certain that Wolves will be able to contend with the top 7. But I don't think they'll break into the top 7. They'll be the best of the rest. In 7th, I've put Spurs. Because for the simple reason, their squad is exactly the same. They've only made departures this season. They've not signed anyone at all. Not even a young up-and-comer. They've signed nobody. And I feel like that's all for them. Their run has been had they have made the big money signings a couple of seasons ago and kept making big money signings when their big players left, they'd have won the title by now. But I think that opportunity is past. And now it's time for them to slide back down again. They're gonna struggle this season. Compete to get back into the Europa League even. But I think this will be a wake-up call for them. As I said earlier, I think Pochettino will leave at the end of the season. I think they'll get Eddie Howe in to replace him. And I think if they finish 7th, I think that'll be the wake-up call they need to spend the money next summer. In 6th, I've put Chelsea. Because when I watched that Community Shield, I was shocked at how bad Chelsea were. They were really sloppy, which is not a common trend to Sarri squads. Like, his Lazio squad was solid. It was exactly how he wanted it to be. But because he was brought in so late, because they delayed the Conte sacking, he was brought in so late that they've not had time to gel. So they are going to start the season on the back foot. I think they'll catch up to Spurs and overtake them. I don't think they'll catch up any further. Because in 5th place, I've put Everton. As weird as it sounds, I think Everton had by far the best window this season. They brought in some incredible players. I'm a little confused about the whole 50 million for Richarlison. I'm very confused about why they did that. That was stupid in my opinion. But overall, they've made some incredible signings. They've strengthened their squad where it needed to be strengthened. The only thing I feel they needed was maybe another defender. That's all I think they need to really be a considered top 4 team now. Everton are becoming one of the top clubs in the country. Unless they do what they did last season and then flop. If they don't flop, they've got a good manager as well. A much better manager now. If they don't flop though, I reckon they've got easy Europa League spot. Pushing for that 4th place spot. Which I've got being won by Arsenal. As hilarious as it sounds, I've put Arsenal to finish 4th. Because of course I have. Arsenal, in the post-Wenger era, it's going to be very different for Arsenal fans. Because I can predict, after bad results, them going out and just, under instinct, starting shouting Wenger out. He's gone. Unai Emery is very good manager in the Europa League, which he's proven with Sevilla. He went to PSG and won the league a couple of years in a row. But anyone can really do that. I could go to PSG and win the league a couple of years in a row. But I think he'll do well in Arsenal because it's a similar stature of club in the actual current day as Sevilla was, and he managed to get them really far in the league, challenging the El Clasico teams. His signings have been decent, but I think the fact that he's going to be playing Aubameyang and Lacazette at the same time is going to be so profitable for them. And I hope it works for them. Arsenal deserve to be in the top 4. In third, I've put Manchester United, because I think they needed that centre back, which they didn't get. If they had got that centre back, I'd have put them second, or even first, to be honest. Had they got that extra centre back which they were looking for, Godin, Boateng, Maguire, all of them were being sought after, and no one turned up. No one came. So, you can make of that what you will, but Jose Mourinho's third seasons at any club never go well. Considering his first 2 at United haven't gone well, he's not won a single league trophy. He's won the league trophy everywhere he's gone. This season will either go really well or utter shite. I've put them to finish third because I think they are the third best team in the country. As for the top 2, it has been a toss-up. I honestly didn't know who I was going to put top. It was very tough to try and work it out. But in the end, I've put Liverpool second and Man City top. The only thing which swung it in that direction is Pep. He is the only reason that I've gone with that way rather than Liverpool over City, because Pep is a serial trophy winner. He wins wherever he goes, and he wins consistently. If he stays at City for a couple more years, I reckon they could break Man United's 3 Premier League on the trot record. I reckon they could get 4 in a row if he stays there, and they keep this squad as good or keep it getting better. They've got an incredible squad. But so have Liverpool. Liverpool have got an incredible squad. So I don't think there'll be any of the 100 points or 19-point advantage this season. I reckon it'll be a lot tighter. But I'm giving Man City that edge. And I'll talk about Liverpool a bit. They have strengthened exactly where they needed to. They have brought in exactly who they needed to. Alisson was an incredible signing. It was a world record fee for a goalie until Chelsea beat it. And it is all about where you're strengthening. They brought Shaqiri in, who I didn't think they really needed, but the second Stoke went down, I thought Shaqiri would go to Liverpool. They've brought in Keita and Fabinho. That midfield is going to be so strong now. If they play a midfield 3, Keita will be that link everywhere on the field. I've often compared Keita to Kante in just how he plays, and I still agree with that. So, that is my Premier League predictions for this season. What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments. If you're new around here, which you all are because it's the first video of this channel, please subscribe to keep up to date with all the videos that I post. Subscribe. You can go and follow me on Twitter at CFootballOB. And I hope to see you back for my next video, my Premier League predictions for week 1. Bye!